Alright, so here's a quick update. Hey, I'm going to be back at it today or tonight, guys. Don't worry about that, but there really isn't much to talk about right now, but I definitely wanted to give you guys something early while there was something to talk about that I did see. You know, Dana White's coming out saying that if he does make Demetrious Johnson versus TJ Dillashaw, it's not going to be until August because Demetrious Johnson wants to defend his title against someone deserving at 125 pounds before July. So it sounds like Demetrious Johnson is actual pussy, man. This guy is literally scared. It's ridiculous, man. I can't believe that Dana White is playing the game with him, you know, giving the champ what he wants. First you gave him the 8 belts, you know, which I was for at the time. Now you're giving him an out, man. He wants to fight lesser opponents instead of trying to break that record in a legitimate way. So with that being said, I was sitting back thinking, like, what does Dana White have to benefit from by this situation? Because usually Dana White tries to, you know, so-called make the biggest fights that the fans want to see. We all know that that's just a nice slogan. That's just not actually true, though. I even see people like Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith say, oh, the UFC makes the fights that the fans actually want to see. And it's like, you guys don't watch MMA enough to know if that's true or not. And this is a situation where it's actually a lie. Nobody cares about Michael Bisping and GSP. Nobody cares about Robert Whittaker and Yoel Romero. You know what I mean? They really should be mixed up with Gegard probably. And this is one of those situations. TJ Dillashaw versus Demetrious Johnson, they're not gonna make the fight. They didn't make George St. Pierre versus Anderson Silva all those years. So I think it's a nice slogan. It's really actually a good slogan against boxing, but at the same time it's not accurate. Now I'm sitting back and I'm thinking, like, why does Dana, why would he support this fuckery? And then it came to me. I said, that makes a lot of sense. So we all know Dana White and Anderson Silva, they don't like each other, they respect each other. We all know that Dana White has always said Anderson Silva is like dealing with an artist, man. He's hard to deal with every step of the way, but he's a good guy at heart. You know, in other words, he's a fucking asshole in real life, but at least he has good morals and good intentions, but at the same time he's an asshole, you know. So I'm thinking, I said, you know what, the sooner Demetrious Johnson breaks Anderson Silva's old ass dated record, you know, then Dana White could stop saying Anderson Silva's the GOAT. He could stop saying it, because now the numbers say something else. Now you say Demetrious Johnson is the GOAT. The numbers say it. We all know where I'm going with this. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Demetrious the GOAT. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Demetrious the GOAT. All I'm saying is he doesn't have to kiss Anderson Silva's ass anymore. When people say, why do you pick Anderson over GSP? Right now, Dana can say because Anderson has the record. When people say, why do you pick Demetrious Johnson over Anderson Silva? He could say because Demetrious Johnson has the record. That is why I think Dana White is literally like, dude, you know what? Demetrious Johnson, go ahead and break that fucking record so I don't have to deal with this schmuck anymore. This fucking asshole that bitching out in public. He complained about his fighter play. He complained about not getting an interim title fight. He complained about this and that. Demetrious Johnson doesn't really have those traits for the most part. For the most part, he doesn't have those traits on a regular basis. So I think Dana White's like, you know, this is going to be a thorn out of my side by just not having to deal with Anderson anymore. I don't have to call him a GOAT. I don't have to acknowledge him as a GOAT. If I'm talking to ESPN, Fox Sports, of course he could say we have some of the greats. Like we have Conor McGregor, one of the biggest people in the sport. Ronda Rousey, one of the biggest people in the sport. Demetrious Johnson, the GOAT, man. 10 or 11 title defenses, whatever the fucking number is. And he, you know, you can't contest that, is my bottom line. You can't even contest it. So I think that's why. You know, because if TJ Dillashaw goes down there and beats him, it's starting over from scratch. You still have to fucking rub Anderson Silva's back the entire way. Every time there's negotiations, Anderson say, I'm the GOAT. I have the record for this. I should get that should be accountable for something. I have the record for that. That should be accountable for something. Once the record is broken, there's no more argument about any special treatment. It's like, no, yeah, you were great at that time, definitely. You were paid well at that time, definitely. Oh no, you're not the GOAT anymore. You don't have that argument anymore. So I think he might actually be taking some ammunition away from Anderson Silva. If that's the reason, man, I guess I get it. I'm just not going to be interested in watching Demetrious Johnson beat some other guy nobody's ever heard of from some fucking other organization nobody's ever heard of, when he could be fighting a real fighter in TJ Dillashaw. That's one of the best guys in the UFC. If you like him or not, you have to give him a place out of one of the best fighters, out of the top 25 fighters in the UFC. You have to give him that. I don't know what else to say. Fuck it. It is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments.